Hello students, welcome to the 8th session of Software Engineering Unit 5 Coding and Testing. In today's session, we will be discussing the most common dynamic technique for defect detection, that is testing. Before that, let's brief on the previous session topics. In the previous session, we have understood what is code inspection and its different stages, such as planning, self-review, and group review meeting. Code inspection is the most formal type of review. It is a static testing in which defects are detected in the code not by executing the code but through a manual process. The main purpose of code inspection is to find defects and not to find the solution for them. Preparation before the code inspection is essential. Hence, code inspection starts with the planning phase. The objective of the planning phase is to prepare for inspection. In this phase, inspection team is formed, including the programmer whose code has to be reviewed. The team should consist of at least 3 to 5 people. A moderator is also appointed in this phase. The author of the code ensures that the code is ready for inspection and moderator checks the entry criteria are satisfied by the code. Commonly used entry criteria are that the code should compiles correctly and the available static analysis tools have been applied. Once the entry criteria are satisfied, a package is prepared and distributed to the inspection team. The package typically consists of the code to be inspected, the specifications for which the code was developed, and the checklist that should be used for the inspection. In the second phase, that is in self-review, each reviewer does a self-review of the code. A reviewer goes through the entire code and logs all the potential defects he or she finds in the self-preparation log. The reviewers provide a summary of the self-review in the log and also record the time they spent in the self-review process. And in the third phase, that is in the group discussion meeting, the moderator first checks to see if all the reviewers are prepared with their self-review logs. When preparation is not enough, the group review meeting is postponed until all participants are fully prepared with their self-review log. If everything is ready, the group review meeting is conducted. In this meeting, a team member or reader goes over the code line by line and paraphrases each line to the team. At any line, if any reviewer has any issue, then they can raise the issue. There could be a discussion on the issue raised. The author accepts the issue as a defect or clarifies why it is not a defect. After the discussion, an agreement is made and one member of the review team called the scribe records the identified defects in the defect log. At the end of the meeting, the scribe reads out the defects recorded in the defect log for a final review by the team members. After the meeting, a formal rework or follow-up process is used to ensure that corrective action is completed in a timely manner. So this is up to the inspection, which is a static method for defect detection. In today's session, we are going to understand a dynamic method for defect detection, that is testing, and its basic concepts and terms such as error, fault and failure, test case, test suite and test harness. So let's begin. In a software development project, errors can be introduced at any stage during development. To ensure quality of the final delivered software, these defects have to be removed. There are two types of approaches for identifying defects in the software: static and dynamic. In static analysis, the code is not executed but is evaluated through some process or some tools for locating defects. Code inspection, which we discussed in the previous session, are one static approach. Another is static analysis of code through the use of tools. In dynamic analysis, code is executed and the execution is used for detecting the defects. Testing is the most common dynamic technique used for defect detection, and it performs a very critical role for ensuring quality of the developed software product. During testing, the software under test is executed with a finite set of test cases, and the behavior of the system for these test cases is evaluated to determine if the system is performing as expected. The basic purpose of testing is to increase the confidence in the functioning of SUT, that is software under test. Most commonly used terms in testing are error, fault and failure, test case, test suite, test plan, manual testing, automated testing and test harness. Let's understand these terms one by one. First comes an error. The error is a human mistake. An error appears not only due to the logical mistake in the code made by the developer, but anyone in the team can make mistakes during the different phases of software development. For instance, business analyst may misinterpret or misunderstand the requirements. The customer may provide insufficient or incorrect information. The architect may cause a flaw in software design. People on the team can also make mistakes due to unclear or insufficient requirements, time pressure, or by other reasons. Let us observe the basic types of errors in software testing. User interface error. These are the errors that generally appear during user interaction with the system, such as missing or incorrect functionality of the system, no backup function or reverse function available, etc. Error handling error. Any error that occurs while the user is interacting with the software needs precise and meaningful handling. If not, it confuses. Therefore, such errors are known as error handling errors. Syntactic error. Misspelled words or grammatically incorrect sentences are syntactic errors and are very evident when testing the software graphical user interface. Calculation errors. These errors occur due to bad logic, incorrect formulas, mismatched data type, etc. Flow control errors. Errors concerning passing the control of the program in an incorrect direction where the software program behaves unexpectedly, or flow control errors, such as the presence of an infinite loop, reporting syntax error during runtime, etc. Testing errors. It implies the errors that occurred when implementing and executing the test process. For example, bug scanning failure, inefficiency in reporting an error or defect. Lastly, we are having hardware errors. Such errors are related to the hardware device, such as no availability and no compatibility with the device, etc. Next comes fault. A fault or defect is an incorrect step or process or data definition in a software product. It is the difference between expected and actual results. An error that the tester finds is known as defect or fault. A fault in a software product reflects its inability or inefficiency to comply with the specified requirements and criteria, and subsequently prevent the software application from performing the desired and expected work. Faults are categorized based on the severity and its priority. Severity defines the degree of impact. Therefore, the severity of the fault reflects the degree or intensity of a particular fault or defect to adversely impact a software product or its operation. Based on the severity metrics, a fault falls under the following categories. Faults that are critical require immediate attention and treatment. A critical fault directly affects the essential functionalities which can otherwise affect a software product or its large-scale functionality. For instance, failure of a feature or functionality or collapse of the entire system, etc. Faults which are responsible for affecting the main functions of a software product are called major faults. Although these faults do not result in the complete failure of a system, but may bring several primary functions of the software to rest, are inactive. The fault produce less impact and have no significant influence on a software product is called as minor faults. The result of these faults are visible in the operation of the product. However, it does not prevent users from executing the task. The task can be carried out using some other alternatives. Trivial faults are the type of faults which have no impact on the operation of a product. Hence, sometimes we ignore and omit them. For example, spelling or grammatical errors. Just like a business where everything happens according to the current need and demand of the market, priority classification of fault are also done. That is high, medium and low priority faults. The high priority defines the most critical need of a company to correct a defect. This should happen as soon as possible in the same compilation. Medium priority fault are next to the high priority faults. and any next version or release of a product includes addressing them. And low priority faults does not need to be corrected immediately or individually. It can be corrected along with any other fault removal techniques in a later stage. A failure is the inability of a software system to perform its operation within the specified performance benchmark. Failure is a consequence of a fault. It is the observable incorrect behavior of the system. Failure occurs when the software fails to perform in the real environment. In other words, after the creation and execution of software code, if the system does not perform as expected due to the occurrence of any fault, then it is called as a failure. Not all faults or defects result in failures. Some remain inactive in the code and we may never notice them. Failures also occur due to the following reasons. Any physical damage or overheating in the hardware can cause the whole system to fail. If the software is not compatible with the hardware, then also the system performs unexpectedly. Failures also happen by environmental conditions like a radiation burst, a strong magnetic field, electronic fields, or pollution could cause faults in hardware or software. Let's understand the difference between error, fault, and failure. These are often misunderstood by the beginners in testing field. Error is the difference between the value which is calculated by a human recording and the value which is correct according to the theory or standard computation. An error is an action that produces an incorrect result. It also refers to a missing or incorrect human action resulting in faults being injected into the program. Fault is the origin of any misbehavior. It is caused by an error. Fault is an incorrect step or process or data definition in a software application. Therefore, it refers to a condition within software application that causes certain failures to occur. Whereas failure is the inability of the program to perform its required activity. As a result, the product is not able to do the activity according to its specification. Therefore, failure refers to a behavioral deviation from the user requirement or the product specification. It is a deviation of the delivered service from compliance with the specification. IEEE definition for error, fault and failure are: error is a human mistake that caused fault, whereas fault is a discrepancy in code that causes a failure, and failure is when external behavior of a product is incorrect. So we can say that a mistake made by humans during coding is called error. An error found during the testing phase is called a fault or defect. A fault to be resolved by the development team is called a bug. And when a build does not meet its specification, then it is termed as failure. So this picture clearly makes us understand the cause of fault is an error and the cause of a failure is a fault. If your product contains error, then that may leads to a fault, and a fault in turns may leads to a system failure. Let's understand what is test case, test suite and test harness now. A test case can be considered as a set of test inputs and execution conditions which are designed to execute the software unit or a software under test in a particular manner. We will call this software under test as SUT. Generally, a test case also specifies the expected outcome from executing the SUT under the specified execution conditions and test inputs. In a test case, test inputs and execution conditions are mentioned separately. Test inputs are the specific values of parameters, or we can say other inputs that are given to the SUT, either by the user or by some other program. The execution conditions, on the other hand, reflect the state of the system and environment, which also impact the behavior of the SUT. So, for example, while testing a function to add a record in the database, if it does not already exist, the behavior of the function will depend both on the value of the input record as well as the state of the database. And a test case needs to specify both. For example, a test case for this function might specify a record R as input and might specify that the state of the database be such that R already exists in it. A group of related test cases that are generally executed together to test some specific behavior or aspect of the SUT is often referred as a test suite. A test case can be added to multiple test suites and test plans. After creating a test plan, test suites are created, which in turn can have any number of tests. Test suites are created based on the cycle or based on the scope. It can contain any type of tests such as functional or non-functional. A test plan is a document describing software testing scope and activities. It is the basis for formally testing any software product in a project. A test plan is a document describing the scope, approach, resources and schedule of intended test activities. It identifies and describes the features to be tested, the testing tasks, who will do each task, the test environment, the test design techniques, entry and exit criteria to be used. Basically, it is a record of the test planning process. As you can see in the figure, a test plan consists of multiple test suites, and each test suite in turn consists of multiple test cases. Each test cases have their own test script and also their own test data, using which a software under test is going to be tested. Testing can be done manually with the tester executing the test cases in the test suite and then checking if the behavior is as expected in the test cases. This is a very difficult and time consuming process, particularly when the test suite contains a large number of test cases. It becomes even more difficult since the test suite often has to be executed every time the SUT is changed. Hence, the current trend is to automate the testing process. With the automated testing, a test case is typically a function called or a method invocation, which does all the activities of a test case, like it sets the test data and the test conditions, invoke the SUT as per the test case, compare the results returned with expected results, and declare to the tester whether the SUT failed or passed. In other words, with automated testing, executing a test case means executing a function. A test suite will then be a set of such functions, each representing a test case. To test a SUT with the test suite, generally an automated test script will be written which will invoke the test cases in the desired sequence. To get a test suite executed automatically, we will need a framework in which test inputs can be defined and used by functions representing the test cases. The automated test script can be written, the SUT can be executed by this script, and the result of entire testing reported to the tester. Many testing frameworks now exist that permit all this to be done in a simple manner. Test Harness is a testing framework which makes the job of a tester simpler by providing easy means of defining a test suite, executing it, and reporting the results. With the test framework, a test suite is defined once and then used whenever required. Complete testing can be done just by the click of a button or by giving a command. As we know, Test Harness is used to automate the testing process. It helps in test case optimization by selecting specific tests to run, executing test suites of test cases, organizing a runtime environment, generating associated test reports, analyzing test results. As shown in this figure, Test Harness is a collection of software, test drivers, test data, and other supporting tools which are constructed to test an application by executing it under different environments and analyzing its result by comparing actual results with the expected results. Test Harness uses test libraries to execute tests and generate a report. Test Harness in automation testing refers to the software systems and the framework that includes test data, test script, test results, and compares them and analyze the result. For example, if you use any testing tool for functional testing, then it organizes and manages all the test data. It also generates the scripts, runs the test, and finally analyze the results. Let's have a quick review on code inspection as well as testing. When a new project is built that has to be inspected or tested to detect defects and to take necessary action to remove these identified defects. In order to get a defect free software product, code inspection and testing are carried out. Where code inspection is a static technique for defect detection, testing is a dynamic technique. In code inspection, defects are detected through manual process by checking the code line by line. Inspection report is generated once the code inspection is done. And in the other hand, the newly built product is also tested dynamically in order to detect errors, and this will generate a test report. Code inspection is also called as code review, which refers to the act of inspecting code. This can be done in the search for bugs, code style, policy violations, security vulnerabilities, extreme complexity of code, etc. The goal is towards code quality, but also at the same time, it makes sure the code does what it is supposed to do according to the user specification or requirements. In testing, tests are implemented and can be run automatically with every build, and it makes sure old bugs don't show up again. Once the build passes the code inspection and testing process, the product is going to be deployed onto the client environment. Otherwise, the build is subjected to the modification in order to incorporate the defect removal process, which is identified through code inspection or through the testing process. So, dear students, this completes our today's session. These are the references which I have used to create today's session content. Do join with us for the next session. Thank you, students.